Happy holidays, everybody. I hope you're doing well. It's time for my end of the year video where I'm going to go over all the games I beat and some of the games I gave up on. So I'm going to talk about the games that I beat in chronological order, and I'm going to not give so much of a review, but just a little discussion around them, what I liked and what I didn't like. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so first I'm going to talk about the games I gave up on. I'm not going to spend a ton of time talking about them, but I just want to give a little bit of reasons why I gave up on them. Okay, we'll start with Donut County. This is probably the most surprising game on the very short list here. It's sort of a reverse Katamari Damacy, sort of. You play as a whole that are, gobbling up things on the ground, and then each time you gobble something up, you get bigger and bigger, and you're just collecting animals and rocks and whatever happens to be on the ground. Well, I love Katamari Damacy, but this game just did not click for me. I think the forced story and just the writing was a big part of that for me, but also the gameplay, the worlds that you're sort of eating from just didn't feel like as full enough. There wasn't enough stuff to gobble down. So it's such a weird complaint, but it just didn't click with me. Next is Yakuza Like a Dragon. I thought there was a good chance I wouldn't really like this game, and I was right, unfortunately. I checked it out because it was turn-based, and they were talking about how a lot of it was wrapped around Dragon Warrior, or Dragon Quest, I mean. It's set in Tokyo, it's set in Japan, which I love, but it just didn't work for me. It's the whole Yakuza thing, it's the whole crime sort of scenario of the whole game, and I should know that by now. I don't like crime movies, books, or video games. So yeah, Yakuza, even though it is quirky and you can go play arcade games in it and do all these mini games, it still just wasn't enough to hold me. I can tell it's a very well-made game, and obviously the series itself is well-made, otherwise it would not be selling as much as it does. But it's just not for me, and when it's not for you, it's just not for you, and there's nothing wrong with that, so I had to give up on it. Okay, the last game here is the most disappointing to me, and I've given it multiple tries now, and I've given up on it for good. That's going to be Inscryption. Yes, Inscryption. I'm still not going to spoil it for people. I will just say that the main thing for me is there are 3 acts, and each act the game changes. And it changes in such a way that I could not continue with it. But I will say, the first act, which is the card, what do they call those, deck builder games, is so eerie and so creepy and so much fun to figure out and learn. It's like part card game, part sort of escape room type gameplay, I guess. It's so much fun, and it's so creepy, and even a little scary and unnerving. But the change that comes is so dramatic to me that, like I said, I had to give up. So I've given up for good. Inscryption, oh well. Okay, on to the games I have beat this year. So we will start in January of 2025 with Sable. Now, from the moment I saw the first screenshots of Sable, I knew I had to play it. The art style is definitely reminiscent and inspired by the French artist Moebius. Moebius has been a big inspiration for me in my own artwork, and I've loved Moebius for just a long time. And so to see a game that was sort of utilizing his art style blew me away. I just knew I had to play it. Well, I waited until it got a physical edition, and I played it on the PlayStation 5. And I had heard that the developers had sort of abandoned patching the game on PlayStation 5, and that there were kind of a lot of bugs. And, well, that's kind of true, actually. My overall thoughts about Sable is 10 out of 10 visual art style. I'd say 8.5, 9 out of 10 for music soundtrack. I bought the soundtrack on CD. It's by a band called Japanese Breakfast. You can still get a CD of that if you want. The gameplay ideas for the game are actually really great. The traversal through this sort of desert-like world, and you can climb, and later on you can sort of glide in your little bubble. And those ideas are really great, but there are some bugs. It's not completely unplayable, of course, but also the world is a little empty, I guess. So as far as gameplay goes, I'd probably just give it a 6 or 5 out of 10. I think if you're a fan of Mobius, you can't not play this game. Also, if you're a fan of games like Journey or Abzu, it sort of has that kind of feel where you're sort of in a desolate world. So overall, beautiful visual presentation, beautiful music, and not so great gameplay. Okay, the next game I beat was in February, and that was Blade Strangers on the Nintendo Switch. Blade Strangers is a 2D fighting game made by Nicalis using various indie characters. Shovel Knight is in there. The Cave Story people are in there. Umihara Kawase is in there. Overall, I found this a very fun game. Easy to get into, as some fighting games can be really technical and really difficult. Not this game. You just get in, you start pressing buttons, and have fun. Okay, now another game I beat in February, Trigger Heart Exelica, also on the Nintendo Switch. This originally came out, I believe, in arcades, but also the Sega Dreamcast. I always wanted to play it on the Sega Dreamcast back then, but it was a Japanese exclusive. So I was extremely excited when this came out for modern consoles. This was another shorter game. Fighters and shoot 'em ups are usually pretty short kind of games. But I have to say, this was another game I really enjoyed. It's a regular old shoot 'em up, but then it has the ability to grapple your enemies and spin them around and use them as a weapon, but also as a shield against more bullets coming towards you. I think Trigger Heart Exelica is excellent.
Emergency! Emergency! The target is approaching. Are you ready?
Moving on, the next game I beat in March was Snufkin Melody of Moomin Valley. I have previously have no clue what Moomin or Snufkin might be. I know that it's been around for a long time. I think it's a Swedish story or character, and I know that it's also kind of popular in Japan, I believe. This was sort of a 2D kind of top-down adventure game with some light stealth elements, with a cute art style, a cute little story about saving nature, preserving nature, and there's not much more to it. I like these kind of games every once in a while. They're just sort of, I guess you could call them cozy, but they're just kind of relaxing. They don't ask too much of you. But you know, the visual style is really what drew me in here. It kind of looks like watercolor, cut paper type aesthetic, which I really love. It also didn't seem too childlike, I guess. I know that the Moomin stuff, sometimes I've seen pictures or books of it, and it looks like it's for, you know, very small children. The gameplay and the story, thankfully, were not, you know, preschool level. They were so it was pretty enjoyable overall. Also in March, I beat Jusant, a mountain climbing game. Now the game struck me as a mix between, say, Journey, The Last Guardian, and Rime. And I can say I compared Sable to Journey as well. And so playing Jusant in just a couple months after Sable, it kind of felt kind of similar, like too similar to all those other games I mentioned. And overall, I didn't really enjoy the game. It's beautiful. It has a almost clay-like visual style. The world almost seems like it's all made of clay, which is pretty cool, I think, and pretty beautiful. There is no combat in the game. There are no enemies. Puzzles, climbing, that sort of thing, which is fun, but I don't know. It just never went past mediocre for me. I will say a point I deducted from it was also the story was conveyed through these sometimes very long journals you just have to stand and read, because there are no other characters in the game to speak with besides your little, I don't know, creature that goes with you. And I don't really like that. I don't really care for that. So I was a little bit disappointed by Jusant overall. Still in March, the next game I beat was Senku, the Arcade Archives release. This is a match 3 puzzle game that looked really cool. I'd never really played it before. I saw it released as Arcade Archives. This game is way too hard and way too fast, which is an unfortunate tell of the time it was released and how it was released as an arcade game. They wanted those quarters, or I guess yen in this case. So it is too hard. It is too fast. I was shocked that I beat it. I probably stood up and cried. I don't remember, but even with limitless quarters to pump in, it was still such a challenge. I will actually never be going back to this game. I will never play it again. Okay, we're still in March. March was a busy month for games, guys. I also beat Disaster Report 4 Summer Memories. This game is such an enigma to me. So it was originally intended to be on the PlayStation 3. And something went wrong. I think there was a disaster, an actual disaster in Japan, and development was sort of stunted. It was stopped, or they put it on pause for something. Then I believe the company creating it, Irem, went out of business, I think. The thing is, when I saw previews for it on PlayStation 3, I was so excited for it. I'd never played a disaster report game, but I don't know, just the style of it and the look of it, it looks so cool to me, and I thought it sounded just like a really fun time. So when the company went out of business and it seemed like the game wasn't going to happen, I was kind of upset. I was really hoping to play the game. Then some previous employees from Irem bought the rights for it and continued development on it. And then eventually it was released on PlayStation 4. I think it came out right around the pandemic in 2020. And I just didn't feel like playing sort of a disaster game in 2020, even though I was super excited it was finally releasing. I just didn't feel like playing it. And so this is the first time I got around to playing it. And it is a quirky game. That's what you see and that's what you get. And so what happens here, an earthquake happens. You kind of then just have to navigate your way around Japan while dealing with the after effects of the earthquake. And you'll find people to help you, and you'll find people to help. And along the way, it's just you'll meet some crazy characters and you'll get yourself into some crazy situations. It was fun, I have to say. So overall, it was fun, but I got to keep saying it was quirky. Very quirky. So if you're not into like quirky kind of games where you sort of scratch your head and go, what was that about? Or what are they talking about now? You might not like it. There's a button to crawl and there's a button to scream. And I love the button to scream.
Hi! Hi! Hi!
And then you can hold a flashlight and you can walk around. I think you can also run. So overall, I was happy to play the game. I was happy to finally play through it. It wasn't as good as I was hoping for, but that's okay. Now, after beating Disaster Report 4, which was kind of a longer game, I wanted something smaller, lighter, more fast-paced, something I could sort of breeze through. And so I picked Hua in April. Now, this is the second time I beat this game. And the thing is, it is pretty much all of those things I just mentioned. Sort of a light, fun, quick breeze through type of game. However, the last couple of levels get way too hard, way too tricky, and kind of sour the experience for me. And I sort of forgot about that from the last time I had played through the game. And it kind of soured the game for me to where I don't really think I'll ever go back to it. You know, and I won't spoil anything, but I'll just say the last level involves sort of reversing everything you've learned in the game. That's how I'll say it. Okay, next in April was kind of a surprise because I had previously said I would probably never play the game again. And that's The Last of Us Part 2. And I didn't say I wouldn't play it again because it was a bad game or I didn't like it. In fact, I loved it. However, it was too rough. It was such a downer to play. And I can appreciate that kind of art, even if it's a movie or a book or a game, where it's sort of a tough read or play. It's maybe even depressing. It's dealing with dark subject matter, that kind of thing. I can appreciate that as art, but then it doesn't mean I want to go back to that over and over once I've experienced it. So I don't know how this happened, but because Last of Us Part 2 was like that for me. It was too much. But I popped it in and I started playing it, and I played all the way through it. I used a lot of the cheats you unlock when you beat it the first time, like the slow-mo and I think infinite ammo, just to kind of, again, sort of breeze through it, even though it is a longer game. I think I enjoyed it more this time because it, with the cheat codes activated, it wasn't so depressing. It wasn't so harsh. I was just having a fun blowing through the game. So. Okay, back to a smaller arcade game, which I love. The Arcade Archives release of Konami's Mystic Warriors. I beat this in May. I played through it with my boyfriend. This is like a run and gun like Sunset Riders, but instead you're using sort of ninja and samurai themed characters. This was a really, really fun game to play through with someone else. I think it did go on a little too long. Again, it is an arcade game from the early 90s, I believe, so it's really trying to get your quarters. And man, some of the bosses just go on forever and ever, and they're just stealing your quarters, basically. But this was a very fun playthrough. If you have someone to play these kinds of games with, definitely do it. They're so worth the money.
You'll become fish food.
Also in May, I finally played Langrisser 1. I had been waiting to play this for a couple years now. I'm very excited to. And this is sort of my first tactics game that I sort of got into. It's like a strategy RPG. It's originally on the PC Engine, I think. Maybe the PlayStation, I'm not sure. But it's an older game. They re-released it with a fresh coat of paint. I chose to play it with the original art style, which is so cool. I love that early 90s style of anime. This was a really fun game. It was actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I think this is probably a very good beginner tactics game for people. If you are interested in tactics games, but they've kind of put you off because it seems like they'd be really complicated, definitely start here. Highly recommended. This was a lot of fun.
遠慮なんかしなくていいよ。
Next, we have Arcade Archives release of Zero Team. This is a beat 'em up that I had previously never heard of, and that's why I love Arcade Archives. So you get exposed to these arcade games that I just never even seen before. However, I will say that the game, again, I played through with my boyfriend. Beat 'em ups are best played that way in co-op mode. But it was only kind of so-so, I would say. The visuals of like characters and backgrounds and environments, were really great. But the gameplay, I guess, the sprites were kind of smaller, which was sort of weird to me. But then just the gameplay itself was just not that much fun. So just a so-so beat 'em up, but you know, even so-so games can sometimes be made way better by co-op, because we had a great time playing through it. Even though the game was, you know, not the best game in the world, we still had fun playing it. So no regrets getting it. It's just, if you don't have someone to play it with, I don't know that I can recommend it. However, if you do have someone to play it with, go for it. Okay, now we're on to June. The next game I beat is Neva. And I've got 2 words for you. Never again. I'm just kidding. It's not that bad of a game. I just did not enjoy it. It's, you know, made by the same studio as Gris or Gris. I'm not sure how to say it, which is a game that I loved. It's just a beautiful, beautiful game with a watercolor style, dealing with themes around, you know, depression and sadness and maybe even grief. This game is from the same studio. The visual style is sort of similar. The watercolor is gone. They're using a lot of the same color palette, and I don't know, the magic's not there. They added combat, which is kind of cool, and they added a companion dog that can, you know, fight with you. But I just gotta say, I don't enjoy it as much. Now, saying never again like I did sounds kind of harsh, but it's actually true. I will not play this game again. Nope. Also in June, I played and beat Lunar, the Silver Star Story, as part of the Lunar Collection released. You know, this has been a long time coming for me because, you know, I had a Sega CD back in the day and I always wanted to play Lunar on it, but I just never got the game. I just never got to play it. So when I heard about the Lunar Collection, I was so excited and I knew finally I would get to play this game. So did it live up to what I wanted back then? Yes. I wish so badly that I could have played this back in those days, in the Sega CD days when it first came out, because I just know that it would have made kind of a bigger impact on me just because of where I was at in my life. But regardless, this game is so great. It's exactly the kind of RPG that I love. It's not too long. It's not too verbose. People don't just talk endlessly for no reason, just saying the same thing over and over. It has a wonderful cast of characters, a great story. The art is, again, that kind of early 90s anime art that I just love. Now, I did only play the first game in the collection. I plan on playing the second game next year in 2026. My only thing about the game, and I thought this even back in Sega CD days, the only thing I would criticize it for are the sprites. The characters are too small to me. I'd like to see bigger, more detailed sprites. Lunar definitely is going in my top 100 favorite games of all time after this, for sure. All right, next we skip ahead a few months to September, where I played for the very first time Baldur's Gate 3. Wow, what a game. I have never played a game like this, really, as far as the like Dungeons and Dragons aspect of it, rolling the dice and all of that kind of strategic battle like that. I never played any of these types of games, honestly, and I knew I wanted to play it when it won Game of the Year, but I also knew I wanted to wait for a physical edition. And they kept selling out, and so finally I got on a list. So as soon as they did announce that they had more copies, I bought it, started playing immediately. I absolutely loved this game. The game was so much fun. The amount of decisions and freedom you have in the game is just unparalleled. At the same time I was playing it, my boyfriend was as well. And so I got to see from the character he created, which was a different class and all that. I think he chose a wizard. So I would get to see what he was doing and how his story was unfolding at the same time while I was playing. And I was I believe a druid. And, we chose different dialogue options and different ways to play the game. It was overall just an incredible experience. Obviously and definitely deserved a Game of the Year status that it got. I could maybe see myself playing this game again, but it'd have to be a couple years into the future after because I spent so much time with it. God, probably over 100 hours, maybe 1 to 200 even. But I enjoyed every minute of it. And I was glad that I bought the physical collector's edition, which came with the soundtracks and everything. I even did an unboxing on my channel of everything that came with it, but I loved a lot of the music as well. Just beautiful, beautiful music. And like I said, it was my first entry to like Dungeons and Dragons, and I really enjoyed that world and that style of playing, honestly. Very, very good. I'm excited to see what Larian is doing next. They showed a trailer for their next game at the Game Awards this year. I think it was called Divinity something. It grossed me out. I did not like the trailer. However, I'm still interested in what the game is going to be because the trailer was all cinematics. So if it's another RPG like this, I'm probably 100% in, actually. Yeah. All right, also in September, I beat Kid Dracula from the Castlevania Anniversary Collection. I had always known about this game, but had never played it until this year. And it was an interesting game. It looks like it's going to be very cute, and it is. The characters look very cute, but it is way too hard. Way too hard. Thank goodness for rewind and save states and all of that stuff, because otherwise I don't think I could have gotten through the game. I believe this was originally a Nintendo game that was Japanese only. And so finally getting to play the game was kind of special. So yeah, but overall, I guess I enjoyed my time with it. I will never play it again. It does not go into the top 100 favorites of all time. But you can't deny that the Kid Dracula's design isn't cool. I mean, it's so cool and cute. So yeah, glad I played it. Also in September, I beat the game Toki, which was a remake of a classic arcade game. I beat this on the Nintendo Switch. I originally bought this from GameStop way back when it released in probably, 2016 or 2017 maybe. This was one that I had on my radar for a long time because I loved the art style of it, the 2D, high-res 2D animated stuff, and the fact that it was an arcade game being remade. So all of that really checks boxes for me. And then it went through some sort of development issues, I think. I think it even changed developers at one point. So anyway, I just finally played and beat it this year. And it's pretty cool. It's kind of a bare bones release, honestly. They could have maybe done a little more for it, but I feel like it's a little more fair than probably the original arcade game was. Even so, it's still a pretty hard game, so there's quite a challenge here. So if you like that, definitely go for it. It is beautiful to look at. The art style is gorgeous, and so if you like that and you like a challenge, definitely go for Toki. Okay, now we're in October, and I had some real high hopes and ambitions for October. I was going to play just scary game after scary game after scary game. Well, I ended up only just beating one game in October, and that was Plants vs. Zombies Replanted. Now, people were talking quite a bit about things missing from the remake and bugs and glitches here and there, so I waited a little bit to get it. And Actually, I haven't had any issues with the game. I love Plants vs. Zombies. I originally played it on the PlayStation 3 and just loved it and played it and played it and played it. And it's not a huge difference as far as the remake goes. I mean, it looks pretty much exactly the same, I have to say. I guess they, up-res the graphics so that it looks good on 4K TVs, which is cool. But the gameplay is all the same, and but they did add some extra modes and things like that. So that was my October game. Okay, now for November, it's a game that I was interested in from the start. I thought it looked too good to be true, honestly, and turns out it was not too good to be true. The game I beat in November is Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Everyone says the same thing, and I'm going to say it too. I loved it. I did have my little nitpicks with it, but I want to start by saying the main thing for me about this game is the story. Now, typically, I'm not a big story guy as far as video games go. I'm more interested in gameplay. The story for Clair Obscur had me intrigued the entire time. I couldn't wait to see more of the story. That's a rare thing for me, where I was like, the gameplay is fun too, don't get me wrong, but there were certain times where I was just like, oh, I wonder when we get to the next sort of cutscene so I can see more about what's going on here. So that's how it had me. I mean, that is rare too. I was blown away by the story. Now, the nitpick I will say is around the story, actually. Even though I've just praised it, I'll say that, towards the end, and I won't spoil anything at all, I'll just say that towards the end, I got a little confused. And it kind of, to me, it felt like the game wanted me to feel sort of blown away by this reveal or shocked or something, where I was just confused. And, that may 100% be on me. That's really only my only nitpick. I enjoyed the gameplay immensely. You gotta play Clair Obscur. You just got to. Okay, and again, after Clair Obscur, I wanted just a smaller, lighter game to play, just a quick game to play through, and I chose Mamoru-kun Recurse. I think that's how you say it. And I beat that in December. I believe this originally came out on the PlayStation 3, and I had it back then, but I think it was also an arcade release in Japan. It was something that I kind of got shuffled to the side when it originally released for me, even though I was really excited to play it. I think some other games came out right after or right around it, and it just kind of got lost in the shuffle there. The Recurse is basically just a remaster, and I played through the story mode. Now, there's also an arcade mode and a classic mode, I think. There's a few different modes to play through the game. And so I played through the story mode. Funny enough, I skipped through all of the story. So I don't know why I just didn't play like arcade mode or something. But anyway, it was an okay game. What they did with the remake, or the remaster, I should say, is they made it into a twin-stick shooter game where you can choose to play it that way. Originally, it was not a twin-stick shooter. It played more like Pocky and Rocky, which is, I find, very difficult to play, where it's whatever way you're facing is the way you're shooting. So that can get really hard and really tricky. I don't like that. The fact that they made it a twin stick shooter made me want to get it again and play through it. In the twin stick shooting format, the mechanic really, really works for it. Okay, and the final game I beat this year is Final Fantasy IV on the Pixel Remaster. Beat that in December. Final Fantasy IV is one of my favorite games of all time. It is definitely in the top 10. And I thought this would be a great way to sort of end the year playing it on the Pixel Remaster, because I wanted to check it out on there. And I was not disappointed. It was great to revisit. It's just a classic, and it was great to revisit it. I played with the new sort of arranged music tracks, which were very nice. I really like them. I played with some of the sort of cheat options, I guess you call them, where I made the experience points like times 4, and sometimes you can turn off the encounters there, and so I would use that to my advantage. Just to, I played it so many times. It was fun to play it in sort of a different way. I loved it. It's one of my favorite games of all time. So yeah, it was great. I'm interested now in playing Final Fantasy VI, because so many people talk about that game and how great it is. So I am now very interested in playing that, probably in 2026. I highly recommend anyone who hasn't played Final Fantasy IV to play this game. And that's all for this year, everyone. I had a great time in gaming this year. I am going to continue to make videos. I try as hard as I can to get more and more videos out each year. It's really hard sometimes with other stuff going on. But thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for subscribing and liking the videos and leaving a comment. That really helps out and even provides some motivation to keep making them, know that people are watching. So everyone, have a happy new year, and I will see you later. Bye.